You know what, Emma? Give me a keyword.
Drow.
Drow. We might get a lot of usernames with that one, but we'll see what we got. Oh. Oh.
Oh?
This post is 10 months old.
Okay.
With 17 upvotes.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
No!
Oh,
I'm so mad that I read the last one.
yes.
I want to read this so bad.
Yeah, this is a good one. This is a good one. Am I the asshole for not ending a D&D in-game relationship between mine and a female player's character, even though my girlfriend wants me to? Let's read this fucking post.
Oh, please, I need to know.
First off, please don't judge my language too hard. I'm not a native speaker. I, 30M, have been playing pen and paper for a long time, and half a year ago, I finally started playing D&D. I joined an ongoing homebrew campaign of a friend, and during the sessions, my character and the character of another player, 28F, get along really well. Their background stories are similar, and their chosen personalities fit together. Since some time now, they stick together, look after each other, which led to the players calling them the Freak Couple. Reborn and Drow both aren't common in the world we're playing. After a sessions some time ago, the player asked me if it would be okay for me if our characters tried getting closer and becoming a couple, and I said, sure, let's try it. Last session, they got together and it worked well so far. The DM even has plans now and wants to make it a bigger part of the story. When I told my girlfriend about it, she was kind of annoyed and jokingly said things like, wow, seems like a real girlfriend isn't enough, and so on. But after talking to her, she admitted that she doesn't like the idea. I've told her that there's nothing going on between me and the player. It's only the characters, but she still doesn't like it. I don't want to end my character's relationship now because it's really part of the campaign, but I'm wondering if I maybe should just do it for my girlfriend. Edit number 1, just remembered maybe the problem is that I once had a relationship with a girl I met through pen and paper, but that was years ago, even before I met my girlfriend, and it went horribly, so maybe she's worried about that. When I asked her, she said, no, that's not it, but I don't know. Edit number 2, to clarify, the in-game romance is on a surface level. We're talking about, you guys are back in the city, what do you want to do? We'll spend some time in the park together. Cool, next guy, what about you? Conclusion, I guess the best idea really would be telling the group that my GF isn't comfortable with the idea and that we should cancel it. Kind of annoying, but I guess it's better this way.
No, this girl is being a butt face. It is very superficial RP that's not even role play.
Right.
Let's be real. She's being jealous and being emotionally immature.
Yeah. Like the comment, I guess a real girlfriend isn't enough, just has huge insecurity vibes. Just your girlfriend is incredibly insecure.
Go to therapy,
in
babe.
your relationship. But
Go to
like,
therapy.
I can also understand the boundary there. And if that's not something that she's into, then maybe it's not going to work out between you two.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's not like cut the D&D game out. It's not that. It's you have a conversation with your girlfriend, and we don't have a context about the rest of their relationship, how long they've been together, how happy he is in it, et cetera, et cetera. But my question would be like, if you can't be an adult about this, maybe this relationship isn't for me.
I've got a new post for us.
Am I the asshole for telling my kinda daughter-in-law she isn't giving birth to Jesus, and if she doesn't clean, then she can get out of my house? Excuse me?
Excuse me?
Am I the asshole for telling my daughter-in-law that she's not giving birth to Jesus, and if she doesn't clean, then she can get out of my house?
Yeah, this one's probably going to be a lot. All right, hit me, Emma.
This one's going to be a mess. My son and his girlfriend have been dating since college. They graduated last year and are 22 and 23.
Oh, okay.
They used to have an apartment together, but soon found out that she was pregnant. I wasn't happy when they informed me. I knew they couldn't afford it, but they wanted to keep the baby. They're also doing a shotgun wedding soon. Soon after they asked to move into my home, it's large with plenty of space, and they wanted to save money for the baby. I made it clear that they will need to do chores and buy their own food.
Yeah, it said
They agreed.
but their own food.
Yeah. I was like,
You
hello.
can live with me, but you have to shove food up your butt. That is not up for negotiation. You have to butt your food. Sorry.
They agreed. No, you're totally fine. And are so messy. I've talked to both of them before about it, and they keep telling me they'll do better. My son has been traveling for a job, and it became clear that she is the one being a mess. In short, she's a slob. She leaves dishes out constantly. Her stuff is all over the house. Her bathroom is so gross. I've talked to her over and over again. I've talked to my son, and he has talked to her. Well, she hasn't been cleaning since she moved in 6 months ago. I came home with groceries and tripped over her shoes. I've had enough. I told her that she isn't giving birth to Jesus, and if she doesn't clean, then she can get out of my house. She started to cry, and my son is pissed at me. I reminded him that I'm doing them a huge favor and doubled down on the cleaning. Ugh.
Oh, right, Turquoise. Like, if you can't handle your own cleaning now in someone else's home, how are you going to handle a newborn child?
But this is very Karen coded to me. And like, because it's absolutely just wild to be like, you're not giving birth to Jesus. I don't know. I'm really,
because I understand
wishy-washy.
giving
Grace.
Yeah, giving some grace to someone who's pregnant, because like that is quite literally, statistically speaking, the most dangerous thing a normal woman or person with a uterus will do in their lifetime. Most of the time, it is the most dangerous thing you could possibly do.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I can also understand wanting someone to clean up after themselves.
Oh yeah.
Especially if it's been going on for 6 months
there.
and you've been like, hey, you need to clean up after yourself repeatedly for 6 months to not only the son, but also the daughter-in-law. However, the comment about you're not giving birth to Jesus is a little left
it feels
field.
like she's angry and lashing out.
Yeah.
Which I get. I understand the feeling and where that's coming from. I just feel like we're missing a lot of information.
The whole post worded like from the beginning, OP doesn't want them there. OP doesn't want them to have the baby in the first place. This whole thing is construed against this couple from OP's perspective. So like we already know OP hates them. So it's not outside of the realm of consideration that OP would make it seem worse than it actually is in order to get validation. However, going off of what's written, I think they all suck.
Yeah. It's definitely not an ideal situation.
Right. Yeah.
I'm going into the comments. I'm going in.
I'm going in. Going to the comments.
Here's a good one. Somebody says, maybe this is an annoying perspective, but like maybe she's never had to clean up after herself and she's just so oblivious to it. I know she's been asked, but she's still so young and is dealing with an unplanned pregnancy. We've been given no info about how she's doing mentally right now. Is she even okay? I'm a full-blown adult and my anxiety was so bad with my last pregnancy. I felt useless. Where are her parents and support people? When you talk to her about cleaning up, how are you talking to her? It sounds like you weren't happy with this situation from the start. I'm wondering how much that contributed to this arrangement not going well. She's hardly an adult and in a really vulnerable place. I guess I feel like her side of the story would be insightful. The best follow-up.
Yep.
This is not from OP, this is just a question beneath, or a comment. They say, thanks for this. It breaks my heart how everyone's immediately jumping to the conclusion that it'll only get worse and how OP should kick them out. I find it interesting that we're told nothing about this girl. How is the pregnancy going for her? What does she do all day? Does she work? What's it like for her to be 8 months pregnant while her partner is on long business trips? Does she have friends nearby? How is she feeling about becoming a mom? Is she excited, happy, anxious, overwhelmed? Does OP even care about becoming grandma, or is she only worried about the state of her home? I'm currently pregnant and not naturally a tidy person. The fatigue is unlike anything I have ever experienced in my life, and I used to party a lot and deal with hangovers at work, laugh out loud. Add some anxiety on top of that, and I'm deeply grateful for a supportive partner, getting groceries delivered, and most importantly, over 15 years of living by myself and solidifying habits are how to take care of myself and my house. I'm not saying there isn't a line that might be crossed here, or that the daughter-in-law should get a carte blanche for any housework, but a lot more information is needed before I feel anyone should feel confident saying this girl deserves to lose her home when she's about to give birth. That's what I'm feeling. Everybody is so quick to be like, fuck this girl. And it's like, can we please have some empathy for the person who is probably in a lot of pain? She might not be mentally doing well. She's definitely not physically doing well. And like, nobody is concerned about her well-being. At least Karen's not.
Like literally, the daughter is the problem here in this post, according to OP. We learn nothing about the daughter. We learn We learned about the
She just
son
wanted to
and what the
complain and be
son's not doing,
validated.
and that the son is traveling for a job, how the messes make OP feel, and that how it affects OP. What's going on with the daughter-in-law here?
But it's not about the daughter-in-law. It's about Karen and her being inconvenienced.
She's making it about her, yeah. And like the fact that she was totally against pretty much everything about them from the get-go. Everyone sucks here, OP the most. Potatoes.
Did I tell you what?
About your
community
emotional support potatoes? Yeah.
I think that is the sweetest thing. I didn't prompt that. They just started doing that, and it's so nice.
Oh. Oh. Ooh, are potatoes giving us some spice?
Oh.
Oh.
I love potatoes.
Oh my God! Yeah, we're gonna do this one. Am I the asshole if I stop paying my daughter's tuition over a disgusting comment she made towards my new girlfriend? My 56M wife died at the young age of 51 from a car accident.
Oh.
I was in deep mourning for about a year after her death. I met my new girlfriend, 43C, around January. Yeah, we're going with Claritha. Claritha was the only one who made me laugh for the first time after my wife died. She's smart as hell, 3 Ivy League degrees, has a dark sense of humor that I love. A 43-year-old with a dark sense of humor I don't trust like that. See, there's dark sense of humor, and then there's just straight up offensive bullshit. A terrific cook and overall an amazing woman who I can imagine spending the rest of my life with. She is also on the heavier side, a fact that becomes relevant later. I have 2 children, 25M and A, 19F. They were well aware that I had gotten a new girlfriend before I introduced them to Claritha this summer. She got along immediately with Ezekiel, but Abigail was very, very standoffish. After the initial meeting, I asked Abigail if there was something wrong, but she denied it. Claritha made a few more attempts to get to know Abigail, but they were all rudely rejected. Ezekiel and Abigail both came home for Thanksgiving dinner. I asked Abigail to please be polite during the meal since she's always been rude to her interactions with Claritha, even though Claritha has been nothing but gracious in return. The dinner was going as well as it could have for the first 10 minutes, although I noticed Abigail glaring at Claritha the entire time. When Claritha went to grab her 3rd helping of mashed potatoes, Abigail said, "Don't you think you've eaten enough, you fat pig?"
That's deeply unnecessary.
Oh. Claritha started sobbing immediately and ran off into the bedroom. I felt my face turn red and I told Abigail to get out. About half an hour after Abigail left, I texted her stating that I would no longer pay her tuition unless 1, she apologized to Claritha, and 2, Claritha accepts her apology. Abigail must have assumed that I was bluffing because she instead doubled down on her behavior during Thanksgiving dinner. I then logged into her university tuitions payment website, canceled next semester's tuition, and sent A the screenshots. She called me crying and begging me to reconsider, but I told her my mind was made up. How did she double down?
Maybe it's in the comments. I'll start looking for you.
OP says, I will reinstate tuition payments if the 2 conditions I gave her are met. I have asked Abigail multiple times regarding why she doesn't like Claritha, but she has never given me an answer besides, I just don't. That's it. That's all we got. Daughter is absolutely still mourning the loss of
100%.
her mom, and dad getting a replacement after a single year.
Yeah.
Daughter holds huge grudge here, especially being so young.
Right? It's just rough.
However,
because
you don't call someone a fat pig because you're going through a grieving process.
Don't do that. But him taking away her college tuition because of that, I think is way too far.
That's way too far.
Way too far.
This sounds like rich people problems, like, oh, my baby's not gonna get any money anymore because you called my girlfriend a fat pig. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, oh, don't get me wrong. You should never make comments like that about somebody else's mom.
Absolutely.
Do not do that. But this is a teenager. This is a child.
Right.
Whose mother just died.
Yes.
You bring in new girlfriend, and you're just expecting her to be like, I'm so happy for you. I love this woman.
That will alter
Because
the trajectory of her future irrevocably.
Exactly. He's making that contingent on her apologizing and then this other random woman accepting the apology.
Right.
That's really hard because it almost feels like he's placing Claritha over his daughter.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Feels like he's disregarding her trauma.
100% he is.
And then when I read the top comment here, Abigail is still probably deep in mourning for her mother. You've managed to put your grief behind you, but the process is much slower for some people. Seeing Claritha in her mother's place at Thanksgiving was probably very hard on your daughter. That doesn't excuse her rudeness, but it might explain it. Secondly, you've made your daughter's tuition dependent on Claritha accepting her apology, as the fees are something between you and your daughter that's not appropriate, especially as Claritha seems to be the issue here. I don't agree with that. Claritha is not the issue.
The edit says, the edit right beneath it says, when I say see is the issue, I mean the relationship between them, not see herself.
Right. I agree with everyone sucks here. Like, the dad needs to be a father, grow up, be the adult. You are the adult here. Handle this with emotional maturity and tact, and not be like, no money. I'm going to ruin your life because you said something mean to my girlfriend. However, comment is completely out of control, 100%. But I don't think the punishment fits the crime. Is that
no, because she absolutely should not have said that. Period. Hard stop. But she's a child who just lost her mother, and you're trying to insert someone in her mother's place.
Right.
Anyone is going to be upset about that. That is entirely and 175% completely reasonable. She is a kid, and he hasn't really taken his kids into account in any of this. None of this post is about how his children might still be grieving, how anything about them at all. He's only taking into consideration Claritha.
Right.
That really sucks.
But like, the question, am I the asshole if I stop paying my daughter's tuition over this comment? Yes, absolutely. Emma, thank you so much for coming on here. Coming and being a guest with me. I appreciate it so much. Everyone go follow Emma. Emma, could you let them know anything that you're working on, where to find you, real quick before we head out?
I stream Baldur's Gate 3 every Tuesday and Thursday at 2 p.m. Pacific. I do a Baldur's Gate edited YouTube video, so you get all the memes, you get all the extra lore, you get that sweet editing polish, and those are every Friday. I also play Vampire the Masquerade. I voice act as well, and so I voice act everything through the visual novels. Yeah. Oh, and I do cosplay and modeling on Instagram. Those are my three biggest platforms.
Everyone go follow right now, or I will poop in your car and you won't find it for several days, and it's gonna smell really bad. I'm like, oh, I don't know about that one. That basilisk is just a human person in a suit with their ass in the sky, and that berserker behind him is just like, oh my. Ooh. What does that Basilusi do?